Here's another of
Blau? No.
yeah.
Is it
No,
Blau?
this
No,
is
Shimpaku.
but I called Dr. Seuss tree
Wow.
for maybe obvious reasons.
That's got movement, eh?
Yeah, this was nursery stock
Wow.
that I wired and kind of give crazy stuff to it. And I let it, like it was repotted this year, so I'm kind of letting it grow.
Yeah.
But it looks healthy.
Yeah.
But apparently, tip for cuttings, when you want to take a cutting of juniper,
Yeah.
wait when you get the hot heads.
I see.
And the ones that grow vigorously, those are the best.
The ones with these
candidates.
extensions, eh? Yeah.
Don't take it from like any like
The
in the
weaker stuff. Yeah.
apparently it's the best.
Oh, that's good. Good tip.
So when I showed you the other Blowy,
Yeah.
this is Blowy.
Okay.
This was the air layer from
Oh, really?
the branch.
Wow. And how long did it take to get roots off the air layer?
Quite quick. Probably
Really?
1
Like
year.
in a season, eh?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
So this is Blowy, this is Blowy,
Okay.
and this is like
That's a very mature tree, isn't it?
club heritage tree. Yes.
Okay. And do you know who owned it before you?
Yes, it was a gentleman named Jim Campbell.
Jim Campbell.
He's one
Okay.
of the original.
I've heard of Jim Campbell. Yes.
Yes, he was one of the original members of Misetto Club.
Wow, that's a beautiful tree.
Mm-hmm. Well, when I acquired it, it was pretty much straw color.
Oh, really? Oh,
Mhm.
wow.
It was in a rough state.
Yeah.
Well, because you know how when sometimes people get old and tired, and decline, they still possess the trees, but they don't hold on, like they don't give it enough care,
Yeah.
and then somebody else acquires it, and so on. So
Yes.
yeah, so literally
Usually-
this tree was the color of straw,
Wow.
and had this tremendous ugly root sticking out here.
Okay.
And I asked Mike Callian,
Yeah.
and he goes, "Oh, you know, don't throw them away until Canada Day." So I give a foliage spray, and I kept
Yeah.
it. And then day after Canada Day, I looked at it and noticed those little tiny green spots on it.
Really?
And yeah,
And then now look at it.
yeah. Well,
Wow.
this is about 6-7 years ago.
Okay. So it's been a long
So
process, eh?
yeah, I mean, it's old tree, you can tell.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the thing about them is that they're so brittle now. I cannot change positions of
I
the
see.
branches anymore.
There. Yeah.
I pushed back the growth somewhat, but you know, you have to take what it is. You know, it's. I like the little hollows in them. That makes it look like old tree, like
it
we
gives
see in the
age.
forest today.
Yes. Yeah.
I was pleased with the fact that you know.
Yeah. That it
And
didn't.
I like the if you look underneath it,
Yeah.
you can see
Just step in here.
that's the beauty of those.
Oh yeah, yeah. That branch structure and everything, isn't it? Reaching up like hands. Yeah, that's really, really nice. Yeah, there's something about an old mature tree that you just can't simulate. It's
I
just
believe that. Well, I'm hoping that my theory is right. Well,
Yeah.
first of all, when that cut the root, that my God, I think that the rest will survive.
Yes.
Because I'm going to lose whole branch.
yeah, you could lose the whole side
Yeah.
of the tree if
Because
you
know
cut
how
a
it's
big root off.
connected.
Yeah.
It's connected. I believe that I have another tree that might be cousin or sister to this tree,
Okay.
and there might have been workshops trees from back in the day, and I have a picture of the other tree from 1980 when it was in a pot.
Oh wow.
So I believe that they're about the same height, the same species, so they might have been working in a workshop at the same time.
43 years ago, eh?
In a pot somewhere in somebody's garden, and now they're in my garden.
That's amazing.
Yeah, where, you know, people always ask you, how old is the tree? How old is the tree? And I think that, you know, this is people who are not in bonsai.
Yeah.
And I tell them, you know, it's not the tree, it's more like how old it looks.
Yes.
Because this tree, I got it from nursery stock
Yeah.
12 years ago.
Okay.
And it's a Blowy as well.
Yeah. And it looks really old.
And I tried to make it look old.
Yeah.
But see, there's some mistakes I did that even cut.
Yeah.
But, you know.
That'll hollow out like this one eventually, though, right?
Yeah, well, they'll get cracks on them, and they have this, like, see, like this one has
Yeah.
cracks in it, which
Yeah.
kind of starts to look more convincing.
Yes.
But, you know, I wire this down so it has a bit more of a rounder appearance.
I see, yeah.
Like, I don't know, is it cedar or something? Like the Lebanese cedar or something?
Yeah. Yeah.
But
It's a great looking crown, isn't it?
thank you. But I try not to make it too triangle shape, you know.
I see.
I think the older trees have more rounded top.
Yeah.
So
More of a
yeah, I
rounded
got some
top.
long-term projects, as most of my trees are.
Yeah, yeah.
There is a Procumbens nana
Okay.
that's on a rock. You can see the rock. There's another feather rock in there.
Okay.
Couple of years in planting, but see, this one has one type of foliage.
It's all the needle foliage.
See?
Eh? Yeah.
I wish I could swipe them for the other one.
Well, you'll have to graft.
There is the root of a rock, mugo pine.
Okay. Wow. That's looking good, isn't
It's
it?
also from a seedling that only had 3 branches on it.
Really.
I mean, still has only 3 branches. But
It's
now,
really gripping that rock well,
Yeah.
isn't it?
that's
yeah.
what pines do. They like the what do you call it, sandstone and such.
Oh yeah, yeah. I guess it
And-
holds a little
yeah.
moisture, doesn't it?
And here is my just a juvenile version of spruce. The
Colorado blue
no,
spruce?
this is supposed to be a Japanese one.
Oh, the Enzo spruce?
Enzo. Yeah.
Is it?
But for some reason it's so blue.
Etzo or?
Yeah, one of those Japanese
Yeah, I forget how
fancy
you
ones,
pronounce
and it
it.
was hard to come by.
Yeah,
But
very
I-
small needles, isn't it?
yeah, I didn't have a success with one before, so I'm giving a
Okay.
silk glove treatment.
Yes. Treating it cautiously.
With the distance.
No sudden moves with it.
No. And I became a big fan of bird's nest spruce
Okay.
because spruce has such a beautiful.
Oh,
little
look at
foliage.
that. Isn't that fantastic?
And I was inspired by your spruce.
Oh, wow.
So
That's
it's getting a hard life right now.
fantastic to see. Yeah, it's got a bit of the...
Rod. Oh, there's a squirrel.
Hello, squirrel.
Whoa.
Oh, what a leap. So it's getting a little gentle persuasion back
Yes,
there.
yes,
eh?
let's call that. You know how those guys don't like to grow upright, so
Yeah.
let's see what happens. And that's why I used actual copper wire. Oh my God, don't judge me on the wiring. But
It's functional
I'm
wiring.
trying to give it wide berth.
It looks good. It looks really good.
Thank you.
So you've got the upright form and then the cascading kind of foliage. It
Yes, I
looks-
love that look of the
Yeah.
tree. Although I do like slender trees,
Yeah,
like example of that being
right.
this,
The large
I love
forest.
the a past member or president of a club said that everybody should have a large forest in the college. I took that literally,
Yes.
and they are.
I
fun
like
plants.
this forest. I like the fact you've got these small, sort of conical shaped trees. It makes this tree look like a giant tree. It just
Well,
it
thank
gives
you.
it the whole forest scale.
Thank you.
And I like the two planted close
This is not
together.
finished yet.
Okay.
I was supposed to put a wedge in here so they have more
Okay.
space.
So the little space.
yeah, but originally I started I think 6 over. How many there's? 5. I
Okay.
think 8 or 9 originally.
Okay. Yeah.
But when we purchased, the club purchased, one of those bulk buys
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
nursery,
Yeah.
and they were just like pennies, whatever, $2 each.
Yeah.
But what happened? They were infested with black scale,
Oh, okay.
like this giant black scale. Like it looked like literally it was like that size,
Yeah.
and I didn't notice it. And on top of it, they had some kind of nest of black ants or something like that. And out of those, only those the ones survived. This one actually came from different planting.
I see.
This is Blue Mountain.
Okay.
Blue Mountain large.
Okay.
Because
From Blue Mountain.
when I purchased, somebody was sitting in the parking lot.
Okay. Okay.
But I had it as a separate tree, but calling
Wow.
them together. And I do like the species. It's a lot of fun they are.
Yeah.
I just gave a haircut maybe a week ago, 2
Okay.
weeks ago. And I'm inspired of our native white pines.
Yes, it gives me that feeling, doesn't it? It's,
And that's the idea.
Yeah.
That it's sparse and it's not quite regular.
yes.
Never mind the fact that bent some branches broke them.
Huh.
But that's part of the design.
I like the fact that you've got spaces in that. I think it gives it a real natural look. If every branch was exactly in the right place,
Yeah.
then they just look artificial.
Yeah.
And
Like we were
This-
talking about the
this looks like trees we saw today when we were out on our
nature
hikes and
creates-
everything. And
yeah, distinct patterns. And funny thing is that it blooms, has beautiful blooms. Those purples and pinks.
the cones are
the blooms
yeah.
before they get the cones.
Okay. Yes. Yes. Yes.
So last year had abundance of it.
Oh wow.
And even the smaller ones were they had cones on them, and
Yeah.
it probably drained quite a bit of energy out of them. but I was hoping that the seeds will fall in and sprout.
Okay, but
Well, look, I do have a sprouting and a sprouting here. I'm hoping that's large,
okay.
but funny thing is, did not sprout in that pot.
Oh,
I found them somewhere else in my collection.
okay.
And one of them actually fell in something that is not even it's just gravel.
Oh, so it just started
But yet
growing.
they will not grow here when I actually plant a few. So there you go, figure.
Yeah.
This is somewhere else that came from different pot. So originally I had only 4 trees, and 4 is about number. So.
I see.
But that's why I did not trim or anything, and there'll be more work to come.
Yeah.
I have two more candidates on it that I'm going to add to the forest,
Yeah.
and it's going to be.
Well, forests are never-ending refinement and work on them.
But,
You're always.
The fact that they heal very well, it's nice.
Yeah.
They're easy to bend.
Yeah.
This one is maturing somewhat, so.
They get autumn colors.
Oh, yeah.
And they look fantastic in spring when the
And they
needles
actually
are coming out.
quite light when you pick it up. It's a very
Right.
light planting.
Yeah.
Although this one needs to be watered very fast.
I see.
They love water, and this tree is too
Yes.
small.
Yeah.
They love to have the boggy plant. Right?
Yes.
Anyway, moving on. There's my crazy privet.
Wow.
It came from Oakville hedge.
Wow.
There was a club connected, digging out the old hedge.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this tree was much bigger.
Yes.
was this
I
much
can
wider.
tell. Yeah.
And unfortunately, even the protective layers did not help
see.
preventing the wood from rotting. And see, this was like all wood here,
I see.
and now rotted away. But it looks like one of those what do you call it? Plants that coastal plants that
Yeah.
ocean washes the roots.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
mangrove.
Yeah, so that's exposed root.
Yeah.
Well, this last winter had a bit of a mishap. I think vole or mouse chewed up the bark
Oh yeah.
to the point where I think I'm gonna lose it.
Right.
But look, it's healing quite well.
It is. That's sealing up nicely.
Yeah, see, all those cuts were made by the.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Critter in
It's
the
all
winter.
it's kind of
It's
chewed it all away.
It's one of those plants that also is very robust and strong.
This is just like the native privet,
it's
or
privet that grows, like
common hedging
yeah,
material.
and you trim it and
And leaves get small. And here is a sort of a Literati
Blowy.
style blowy, eh? Wow. There's a little tuft of foliage on the top, and tons of movement and twists, and wow. And did you make this pot?
Yes, I did. I hope that makes approval, because it's glazed pot, but it's in a color that reflects the bark. When the bark is oiled,
Yeah.
shows up quite
It
nicely.
looks, wow, that's nice.
But there's a story of survivor here for you.
Yeah.
I picked up like this tree. I have no idea how old it is, but I imagine it's good 20, 30 years old, maybe more.
Yeah.
And it was much taller.
I see.
But when I put it in the ground a number of years ago, my favorite pooch jumped on it and broke half of it.
Oh no.
Only one branch left.
Oh no.
So there's your styling by Chester.
Yes, yes. Well, I'd say Chester did a pretty good job, actually.
Well, this is a constant fight to keep foliage somewhat organized.
I see.
And it's not in best shape right now, but Blowy is more of a rougher
I see.
growth, but I'm trying to keep its bounds being too vigorous and not surviving.
Yeah, yeah.
And it only has one live root here.
That's the
Live
essence of
vein.
bonsai.
See, look at it. You can tell it's rather old because the live vein is almost separate from a dead root.
Oh yeah,
It's rounded.
It's almost rounded, totally. Yeah. I have a thuja where the live vein's separating from the dead
See?
root.
And then unless you go Mr. Kimura and make the top of the tree the bottom of the tree,
Yes. Yeah.
like he done that, I was like, wow. No wonder they call him magician.
Yeah.
And see, look at it. Some weeds that we have in our area
yeah.
make an interesting accent plants too.
Yeah.
Because they're pretty blue flowers.
Yeah, they look very
Look at
dainty.
that. Yeah, it's like orchid almost.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Every plant is beautiful, isn't it? It doesn't.
in its place,
Yeah.
So, sorry, as you can see, I don't have much space for my collection. So this is Nagasaki crabapple.
Okay.
Look how small the needle,
Yeah.
are.
The leaves. Wow.
I let it grow because I wanted to.
And they're
figure-
fancy shaped leaves, aren't they?
Mhm. And the roots interesting on this species. So just a little plant, and like I said, I let it grow. There's a brother of it.
It's a cool pot too.
Yeah, well, one of those Chinese imports. I
Okay.
think. Well, here's my
Ficus,
burnt ivy.
burnt ivy ficus.
This is first year I took a pot because, see, as you can see, colored roots.
Okay, yeah.
They were buried, and then like I was trying to achieve the grabbing on to a rock.
Well, I'd say you succeeded there.
Thank you. It was interesting rock, so I thought,
Yeah, it is a very, very nice rock.
and you can still
It
see
looks
a bit.
just like the cliffs we were on today,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
See, so
wow.
originally from South Africa, and they call them rock splitters. So
Okay.
them growing on rocks is rather natural way of growing.
Yes, yeah.
So the roots actually get so strong they will split rocks and something.
Wow.
I think my media was too loose, too thick, but it seemed that plant was very happy with it.
Yeah.
It grew quite well, so I'm gonna have to do some.
I find these burnt ivy ficuses can take a lot of cool weather too.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll keep them indoors.
They're actually a temperate tree that they prefer a cool period in the winter.
So maybe I should treat them like porch lacarius or like
Yeah.
orchids.
Yeah.
Because orchids love to go 10 degrees at night or even a little bit lower
Yeah.
to set their flowers.
Yeah.
So yeah, so seeing there's South African species just like porch lacarius,
Yeah.
and those seem to be my favorite indoor plants.
Yeah.
I love the.
Especially if you keep your house cool. Like,
I don't.
no, okay.
if I live in the country estate, probably easier. But yeah, that's a problem. And they don't lose leaves. I don't have them losing leaves or nothing. The only problem is that
Okay.
they're very prone to scale insects.
Okay.
And you have to be on top of it all
So
the
you
time.
have to watch
see,
it, eh?
see, there you go. There's one.
Okay.
See,
You just pick
there
it
goes
off.
the nail.
Yeah.
And I do spray them. But see, when they're outside, the health and UV light, wherever the
Yeah.
energy, they maintain themselves.
Yes,
It's sort
I
of-
find I have
yeah.
very few insect problems
Yeah,
in the
and
summer.
then you bring them inside and
Then-
blooms.
Yeah.
Because humidity levels and life.
Yeah, and the trees are so strong outside, and look at that.
How was that?
Look at that pot.
Yeah, it was my abstract moment.
That's really cool.
I like the texture of it because we tried this crackling.
Yeah.
It's
Oh. Is that the glaze?
Yeah, it's glazed
Yeah.
crackles. Yeah,
Wow.
it was actually leftover of
It's
clay.
almost like alligator hide or
yeah,
something.
I think they called it alligator green or something.
Okay.
The clay was left over from my other pot,
Yeah.
so I don't want to throw it
Yeah.
away.
Make something.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, let me think, and
That's
there
really
goes.
cool.
the plant is beautiful little annual. The color is just spectacular.
Do you know what kind of plant
I have
it is?
no
at all?
idea.
No.
But I go with
Looks
the
kind of like a violet, the flowers, doesn't it? Or a
some kind of, but it
like an
blooms
orchid
like
almost.
non-stop. See, and
Oh.
bees love it.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
And here's again one of the native variety, like suncherry.
Okay.
The purple
Yeah.
sunshine.
Yeah. Wow.
And I love the black bark on it. Look
Oh
at this.
yeah, it's a
Look
beautiful.
at how black the bark
Oh
is.
wow, that is really dark, isn't it?
It's not only water, it's black.
Almost like some of those plums you
Yeah.
see, the old plums.
I mean, it's still work in progress, and I give it a horrible chop. I should probably left it longer, but it's still a robust plant.
Yeah.
It's in the plum family. You can see by bark and
Wow.
flowers in the spring. It's nice. Like I like the contrasting foliage of it.
Yeah, and it's unusual, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
like.
And see, there's the other plant I was telling you that's relative down
Okay.
to
Yeah.
Juniper.
Yeah.
And I was going to put the wire away, but sorry, audience. Messy wiring job.
Oh, that's great looking tree. They sure. I can see the similarities between the two. They're
it's the beautiful
kind of like
down there.
brother and sister.
Yeah, and end of the season, big nursery. This was actually this one
Yeah.
was grown as one of those flat, extremely flat plants that you put against the wall, like
Okay.
I don't know.
Like
What
espalier.
yeah,
is,
yeah,
I think.
yeah. It was just two-dimensional.
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
tall and flat,
Yeah.
and they were like throwing them away basically.
Yeah.
So I picked it up and I'm like, well, for whatever money I paid, I think it was just peanuts.
Yeah. Oh, I
But-
like it.
But it was much more triangle. So I
Okay.
thought I would give it a little roundness to it.
Yeah. I like
And
that.
I give severe trim, so you see there's the issue with those fronds that kind of like just droop.
They're long and.
But they're such a healthy, strong plant. So one of the healthiest plants.
Oh.
Because this thing, when I chopped it, there's only green part here
Yeah.
and maybe one or two like twigs here. And this all surprised me later.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, seriously, it was just a trunk.
Wow. It's almost like defoliation.
Yeah. And yet it's such a robust plant.
Yeah.
Well, this is not an example of bird tabby.
Okay, yeah. Wow. That's small leaves, eh? That's the size of the leaves.
I believe it's a cutting of the one that was on a rock I showed you earlier. Because most of them are cuttings.
That
and they
looks
take from
fantastic.
big branches too.
Yeah. Yeah, they'll kind of root from
yeah.
any size cutting, won't they?
So, fun plants.
And do you get aerial roots on these at all?
Yeah, but I know you're a fan of aerial roots. Except that one there, I'll probably allow this one to go aerial roots.
Right, yeah.
But for some reason, yeah, they do like to grow, but in my environment, it was fuller at this time of year because, come on, they should be all fully grown.
I think it's the weather.
Yeah,
I think we've had
it's been challenging.
cool nights.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Warm days, cool nights, and it just...
Hot weather and at nighttime, steaming hot.
Yeah, that's when they
accents,
like it.
I like the accents.
Oh, yeah.
Although this one...
I recognize that plant, but I
don't know what that is, but it's wild. It's not what you think.
No, I know.
You don't smoke that.
No, that's a different...
It has yellow flowers. It's quite pretty.
Yeah, I think it's called cinquefoil. Is that?
Cinquefoil?
Cinquefoil?
Yeah, which is relative of the potentilia.
Is it?
Yeah, we have native potentilia.
Maybe I'm wrong, but...
Yeah, I think it's cinquefoil.
Someone will tell us, I'm sure.
And it was so tall that I had to trim it because,
It's not marijuana, we know that.
No. It was funny because it was in a show a few years ago.
Yeah.
And somebody asked me what that is. I'm like, well, they're going to legalize it soon. They bought it. They thought it was really...
Bonsai marijuana plant.
And believe it or not, I've been asked if you can bonsai that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know.
I'm sure somebody did.
I get requests of doing that all the time.
Really?
Can you bonsai a marijuana plant?
Don't look at my kids. Extra rust for the
iron,
for your
eh?
plants.
So you get some old steel parts and you stick them in the soil.
This guy, I bought him at the same time as the Cascade.
Okay.
So, yeah, it needs to be repotted. I can tell. It dries way too fast.
I see. Yeah.
But
it's a good looking tree, isn't
they're
it?
fun, guys. I mean, look at the bark. Look how it gets so flaky and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So, and then you can play with showers and deadwoods and the
And is this just like a Japanese garden juniper?
I believe so.
I shouldn't say just because
Well, Procumbens nana.
I think they're one of the best.
And I don't know where the front of it really is, but
I see.
The other side is front, but I do have to
beautiful
turn
tree.
around
Yeah.
to give him light on each side.
That's a beautiful tree.
And again, this is overgrown right now, and
you have some mature foliage here, eh?
that's why I said the relatives of the other
But not much of the...
one. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a bit of a mix, but it's not strange how they...
Biology.
Doesn't bother me,
Well,
it's like...
I'm glad. But as far as mature trees, and some people poo-poo on junipers, but I think junipers are fun.
I guess if you were to put this in a show, you would just clip off all the mature foliage and keep the needle foliage.
And then it'll be 50% of the plant.
Oh, would it? Is it that much?
Well, it's actually, when they're younger,
Yeah.
I've noticed that much difference.
Yeah.
As they get older, they seem to really stand out. Those
I see.
areas.
Okay.
Maybe I trim them more when they're younger.
Okay.
And if you
Hey, here's Norfolk Islands.
yes, this
Norfolk
is
Island pines.
the oldest bonsai in my possession. I don't know if you can call this bonsai, but a plant on the.
Well,
on
I
the thing.
remember seeing that at the Macedo show
Yeah.
like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I had to give a major restyle.
And they were taller than
Oh
that
yeah,
then.
but I came to the conclusion it was too tall
Okay.
and just lanky.
Yeah.
So I want to kind of highlight the fact that it's older tree.
Got some back budding in there. Eh?
Yeah, it's
Not
actually
bad.
buck budding pretty well,
Yeah.
contrary to some
That's-
beliefs.
Yeah.
And because I get such a severe trim in the winter time,
I see.
I want to see how many, so it's no way in shape or form ready for any kind of display.
Do you ever hard prune it back so there's no foliage at all?
This is the first time I give her extremely hard prune.
Really? And there's no foliage on the trunks?
No, there was I left the I left the
Okay,
bottom
there's a little sliver of it.
Insurance.
Wow.
But
That's brave.
yeah. But see, this
But
for some reason has two colors because
I see.
I thought we'd recover outside, but I still kind of kept that. I'm just trying to give more branching, come on, it's just a dead trunk.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's got nice trunk texture. It's the bark in
this
that.
plant is, sorry.
That's really, really nice.
Oh, come on. look at the faults of it. It has a snake root.
Doesn't
Because
matter
I
at
grew
this
in such a
stage.
tiny pot for like 10 years.
Okay.
And I had I was not a member of any club, or I don't even know if I read Mr. Chan's books at that time.
When a tree gets to a certain age, you just accept all the faults in that, and it just becomes beautiful.
It's been in my possession, I think, longer than I've been married.
Wow.
And next year I'll be married for 30 years.
Really? Wow. That's amazing, and congratulations.
Thank you. Well, not quite yet, but next year.
And here's a willow leaf ficus, or Ficus salixifolia.
Yeah, unfortunately suffered a severe setback last year. It was rather nicely developed,
Yeah.
but last winter I think got too dry and too hot, and the last half of the branches.
Okay. So it's
work in
one-sided
progress.
at the
Yeah.
moment. It's
But
wind-blown.
See how those guys get a really thick, chunky
Yeah.
roots.
Yeah.
Like him or not, I'm not sure, but this one was, a very tiny plant when I acquired it. So
I find this and the two little leaf ficus get the really thick,
Oh, yeah?
overwhelming root system, and
Wow.
I'm always trying to carve them back. And
here's my example of
Benjamina, is it?
Benjaminas, yes.
Yeah. Wow.
And
That has aerial roots, doesn't it?
actually,
Or is it two trees?
the story is,
Okay.
that's maybe an interesting story.
Okay.
When I acquired it,
Yeah.
there's two stories that are kind of strange.
Okay.
Well, it's a rather old specimen. What happened is it was very leggy.
Yes.
So it had air graft or air layer, like I don't know, root like attached. This part was alive, but a separate plant.
Okay. Fused or
Fused. It wasn't fused yet,
No. Okay.
but there was growth here and far away,
I see.
and it was just big. Well, you have to understand that this part was the top of it.
Oh my goodness.
So and it was only growth on top.
Okay.
So this is air layer of this one.
Wow.
Still work in progress. I wanted to heal better, but so subsequently,
Yeah.
I tried grafting it or fusing it.
Yeah.
And you can see this is the fusion part.
Okay. Oh yeah.
And the strange thing is that not all of it fused yet, because some places you can still see air through it.
Yes.
Yet the top fused.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's your beauty ficus.
Well, I like it. It's really interesting, and
It's been giving a lot of grief over the years. You can see like there's some ugly parts, obviously. And
Yeah.
For some strange reason, it has this very distinctively yellow leaf,
huh.
and that's not the leaf burn.
No, it's
It's just how it grows. It's like what do you call it?
hello.
There's
How are
this
you?
bro.
Hey. He's turned around. He's shy.
He's like, oh darn, he didn't sign a release form to be on video. I'm not into this.
Yeah.
So anyway,
See my agent.
I was growing them indoor under some very bright lights,
Yeah.
and that's when this showed up. But it's like,
Hasn't fixed itself, eh? I have a Natal ficus that has one side of it is more yellowier than the other side, and in the past it had a severe chop, and I think it's restricting the flow of sap to that side of the tree. Maybe it's my theory, and that's what's causing the yellowing. So I don't know on this one though.
and look, the same tree grows here, and here it's the same genetic specimen.
I don't know.
So yeah, there's abnormalities in nature, I guess.
Yes, maybe it's I don't know.
Maybe I'm left with just chopping everything yellow off and see what happens. But then there'll have to be like, I sort of like this ugliness of it.
Yeah, I like all that. I think it gives the trunk a lot of interest, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
All that kind of intricate braiding of roots and
it's just
trunks.
sort of crazy native
Yeah.
appearance. Like, it's
Well, I'll be interested to see if you can get rid of that yellow.
it's been like 2 years at least.
Oh, has it? Okay.
So like,
And
is
it's
it
been
lacking
growing
nutrients?
slowly, or that part of the tree, or?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't quite remember because
Okay.
when you bring them inside, they lose the foliage for the changeover.
Yeah.
Then you take them outside, and this I trim to the like only you have. This is like all outdoor growth this
Okay,
year.
yeah.
Because it's quite sparse. But So I put my hopes in this one because it has more of an interesting trunk line. But they're the same genes.
Interesting. Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, and I have Boxwood. I came to the
wow.
conclusion that Boxwood likes to be in the shade.
Yes. Not too bright as sun,
Not too
eh?
bright, yeah.
Did you make this pot?
No, this is from our past president,
Okay.
Jeff Lloyd.
Okay. That's a nice pot. I like the
he made some
coloring.
beautiful pots.
Yeah.
So this is.
Wow, that's got great style to it. This box.
Thank you. Well,
I like the flowing.
It has a kind of like a hourglass sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and believe me, that was not that easy.
No.
It was just there was a lot of pebble work in here.
Oh, was there?
You
Okay.
might still see some rocks
to
stuck
spread
somewhere.
roots apart. and
Yeah,
that,
cork and everything.
Yeah.
But I love boxwoods for their barks.
Oh yeah.
It's just this instant like old oak,
Yeah.
California oak.
And how long have you had this one?
It's a long work in progress.
Okay.
I would say 10 years, let's say.
Okay.
And it was Bozo the Clown. Sides growth, nothing on top.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what Adam Levine calls them.